Just thought I'd film a quick little update. The past few days, I've been really checking my sensibilities and thinking heavily, and I've been just catching wind of how dark, eerie, and ominous and morbid that this world around me is becoming. Like, I don't know exactly how to explain this other than I'm clued into a lot that other people probably aren't clued into deep down. But man, all I can sense is that this silent power structure is getting drunk with power, and they're doing some things that are brazen, that are still not obvious to the average person, but they are affecting certain people in this world very intensely, and those people are surrounded by people that are quite literally not even people. You know, once a human being reaches a certain level of manipulative control, then they are just not autonomous. They can't do anything off of the beaten path. They are being programmed and conditioned, and they can't do the things that people like you and I can do. And I know that I'm making these videos for a select few people that are just like me, going through similar events and are perceiving the world in the same way. This is not the planet Earth that I ever thought it was, and certainly isn't the planet Earth that I ever thought it would become. It just blows my mind how easily distracted and how easily manipulated the world is around me to just be a false reality where nothing real happens. We perform basic functions, and we don't talk about any of the silent trauma and the real actual bad things that are happening. There's just no flow of information in this world, and that's the way they like it. The powers that be, they simply want to extrapolate anything good from the world and remove it. They want to give us the false impression that it will get better, or that there will be a silver lining, when there very well could not be. It goes without saying nothing good comes easily, but nothing good, I think, can come until there's less of a presence on this planet of the negative variety. The evil spiritual energy that's on this planet is quite literally consuming people, and it's blinding them, and it's changing them, and it's guiding them into the wrong thing, and eventually the wrong thing becomes second nature, and then we have a self-sustaining evil empire that just continues on, and it phases out good people like myself. But you know, another point that had crossed my mind too, that I've noticed myself, is that the complexity and the rise of this AI and the intuitive nature of it is to just keep getting smarter and smarter, so to speak, while human beings get more and more stupid. And I can certainly sense and feel that the use of this AI being so realistic and lifelike, it is setting the false impression that a lot of people of prominence are here that are not here. I'm getting that vibe that we're never really sure who's really living or dead on this planet, because we're all kind of trapped in our own little life. We're nestled in a rut that we can't quite escape. The average person can't, because they may have a family that needs them. They have a job in this one city. They can't branch out. There's very few people that have creative control over their own lives, if you think about it. A lot of people are waking up to the illusion, and they're disillusioned, and they want to break out of it. And that's not a popular concept for those who have control over our lives. They want us in that rut, because if we break out of our pattern, that throws them off, of course. That throws their whole little well-oiled machine of misery way off. So they're never wanting us all to break out of our lives and do anything different, because it will quite simply ruin their new world order. So just keep that in mind. Like, many people are cogs in the machine, they may even be aware of it, but they can't change it. That's the type of position I'm in. I mean, if the world would be a different place, I think, if people like me had more autonomy and more freedom to do things we need to do. That's why we got persecuted to begin with, is because of what we possess innately and deep down is something that scares them. It scares those who want control, to imagine those who have ability, who lack this weakness that other human beings possess. They don't like the idea of us getting together and knowing each other and forming a new ideology to try to live through this, because this is quite literally designed to be the detriment of all of us at some point. They just want it to really be the detriment of those who are free thinkers, who have a spark that they don't possess. That's really the truth. And all of the real people on this planet, on this plane of reality, are being phased out gradually in ways that are easier to cover up to the average person than to somebody like me. So I sense it, I feel it, I just don't quite see it, but I know it. And that's the big pictures. They don't want us to go on our intuition. They want to cloud our judgment in our minds and keep us stuck in this meaningless cycle, as we know deep down that it's going down badly, and we seemingly can't do anything about it. So I really hope and pray that there's some miracles that break through the surface, because that's what it's going to take. This type of thing can't continue, but it is going to, due to the brain dead nature of this world and everybody's need to cover up their actions and their being urged to turn a blind eye to things that they know and see and feel. It's causing us to deny the real reality that we're facing and live in this false reality that can't sustain itself forever. It's quite literally impossible, but I'm sure that they're orchestrating everything to drag out for the test of time until the ends of time. But I really hope something breaks the surface and they have an unexpected surprise, these pieces of fucking shit. They know what they do is the work of the devil. They are just that sick and evil. They feed off of the negative energy, and that's what sustains them, and the world is full of it. The world needs more positive energy, but we can't obtain that unless we're near each other in proximity. I feel like there's a communication barrier in the world. Nothing can seem to go the way it needs to because of this orchestration and all the obstruction that we face. And quite simply, this is not a life for human beings that have sentience and emotion. This is a life designed for people who are soulless and evil and can easily turn a blind eye to human suffering and even partake in it and sleep at night. So ultimately, the need to control human beings has forced to nestle us, many of us, into ruts that do not define us, and those ruts hopefully will break. Now, what does that mean after? Who knows? I'm sure it'll be harrowing and exhilarating and terrible for those who break out of this cycle and just want to live a little bit while they can. It's going to be something else, but hey, that statement that it makes is ultimately what's needed, you know, because otherwise we just have a generation of mind-controlled conformists who are trauma victims who can't do anything but what they want them to do. And fuck that logic. Many people need to adjust to the idea of having an alternative lifestyle at a certain point. I would say I definitely am in my free time living an alternative lifestyle. I'm a spiritual being who has to do meaningful things, at least things that I would deem meaningful. Perhaps they're not to other people, but I value different things now than I used to. I have a different ideology, and I've had to adjust to a lot less and to being okay with just my own company and self-awareness. That's a scary concept for most people, to indulge their own self-awareness. They have to put themselves into a la-la land of some sort, and it's usually an unhealthy coping mechanism. So yeah, spiritual wellness is definitely what kept me living and is still keeping me living, basically. I wouldn't say I'm without hope, but I'm not feeling good about the future of humanity because it's so stupid and backwards, and nobody dares to point it out because that would change their lives too much. But I think their lives need to change, and they're going to, but nobody ever changes without great motivation to. And I think the world and the universe itself is going to speak back and provide that great motivation, and it's going to scare the ever-loving shit out of these motherfuckers. And I can't wait for that day. I just hope to make it that day to be a fly on the wall. That'll make me feel better to harvest their loosh, just by proxy. But creative and productive ideas are like on the way out the door. I feel as if everything good in the world that ever has been produced has already been produced, and we're just indulging the rehash now, and we're living in yesteryear, but not really, because there's still a concern about the future. Like, where does this lead if we're lessening to this degree and we have this infrastructure in place? How is that going to translate well? It's not. But all of this is happening for selfish and hedonistic reasons, simply to exploit people and to use and abuse them and spit them out. That's the nature of the devil, and that's the nature of this cycle of life. It's all heavily influenced by the devil and by these evil cretins who are quite literally druids on this planet. They uphold normal so well to some people that it may fool them, but it never fools me. It just proves to me that they have no soul and they're good actors. But I highly doubt that their act's going to continue once the real truth gets presented. I can't help but feel like there's some freedom fighters in the world who want like hell to blow that whistle, and I think before the end of time they will. And wrongs will be righted, and I think that we will maybe not restore order in the universe, but we will at least fight back, and they will know how we feel, I hope. But hopefully we can all try to bridge this communication gap, because that's where we're lacking. That's what makes the world so hollow and empty. We're not communicating or indulging in anything meaningful. We're not being able to network and spread the word to meaningful people. We're all disconnected and on different timelines of the same thing. So we got to work quick to catch up with each other and hope that we can make something happen of relevance. Because right now, all I foresee is that it's going to be a meaningless end to people's lives that happens quickly because they didn't pay attention to the signs. So hopefully that makes sense. But I wish you guys well. Peace.